She'd wiped down that counter 42 years. 42 years of early mornings and aching feet of remembering how customers liked their coffee, of slipping extra fries to hungry kids who counted pennies. 42 years of being the heartbeat of a place that fed a town. And on a Tuesday morning in September, in front of a room full of strangers, they threw her out like yesterday's trash. But Martha Jensen couldn't know that 10 hours later, 91 motorcycles would roll into town, and nothing would ever be the same. Before we dive into Martha's story, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because this journey is going to take us places you won't believe. And drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I want to see how far Martha's story travels. Now let's begin. Martha grabbed the coffee pot. "You're doing it wrong." She turned. Brian Hastings stood behind her, arms crossed. 3 weeks he'd been manager. 3 weeks of that voice. "The coffee." Martha kept smiling. "Always smile." "I've been making it the same. Since 1983, I know." He checked his watch. "Silver. Expensive." "That's the problem. My office. Now." Tommy looked up from the grill. His eyes asked the question his mouth didn't. "Table 4 needs," Tommy started. "Martha was just coming to my office." Brian didn't look at Tommy. Didn't look at anyone but Martha. She followed him. What else could she do? The office smelled like grease and lies. Brian sat. Didn't offer her a chair. Martha stood. Her feet hurt already. 5:30 start time. Always 5:30. "I'm going to be direct." He pulled out a folder, her name on it. "Your performance metrics are concerning." "My performance, table turnover rate, order accuracy, customer satisfaction scores, papers, numbers, graphs. You're below target in every category." Below target. Martha had been pouring coffee since before he was born, and she was below target. "I don't understand." "My customers, the regulars, ask for my section. I've never had complaints. That's the problem." Brian leaned back. "You spend too much time chatting. We need efficiency, speed, volume. But the people are customers, not friends." Through the wall, the diner woke up. Door chimes, voices, the grill hissing, every sound she knew by heart. "I can improve." Her voice came out smaller than she meant it. "Tell me what you need. It's not about improvement." He stood. "It's about fit. You don't fit." The words hung there, heavy, final. "Are you?" She couldn't say it. Couldn't make the words real. "Your employment is terminated, effective immediately." He pulled an envelope from his drawer. 2 weeks severance. Clean out your locker. Leave. "My shift, the morning rush, is covered. Jennifer's coming in." Another watch check. "I need you out before peak hours. Bad optics." Bad optics. 42 years, and she was bad optics. "I need to say goodbye." Not a question. A statement. "To the staff. To my..." "Better if you don't. Clean breaks are easier." Martha stood there. The envelope felt too light in her hands, too small for 42 years. Is this really happening? Is this how it ends, Mr. Hastings? Steadier now. Something building inside her. "I've given this place more than half my life. I've opened on Christmas. I've closed on New Year's. I've trained every server for 20 years. You deserve what's in that envelope." His voice went sharp. Cold. "Now, if you're going to make this difficult, I can call the police. Have you escorted out for trespassing?" The threat hit like a slap. Trespassing. In the place I built with my own hands. Martha walked to her locker. Her hands shook on the combination. 17/3/54. Sarah's birthday. Inside, extra uniform cardigan photo of Sophie. 8 years old. Gap-toothed smile. She put it all in a plastic bag. What do I tell Sophie? How do I explain that Grandma got thrown away? The kitchen was busy. Tommy at the grill. Another cook on pancakes. Neither looked at her. Brian had told them, warned them. She was already erased. But she had to walk through the dining room. No back exit. Martha pushed through the swinging door. Full house. All 12 booths. 6 counter stools. The breakfast crowd. Her people. Old Jim Patterson in his booth. Newspaper. Black coffee. Wheat toast. The Fernandez family. Carlos and Maria. 3 kids. Birthday pancakes for the youngest. Rachel Moore. Nurse. Hospital down the street. Quick bite between shifts. They all looked up. "Martha," Jim called out. "Where's my refill? Coffee's getting cold." She opened her mouth. Brian's hand on her elbow, steering, publicly. "Excuse us," Brian's voice carried, fake cheerful. "Martha's last day is today. We're wishing her well in her retirement." Retirement. The lie landed in the room like a bomb. Jim half stood. Rachel's mouth fell open. The whole diner went quiet. "Wait, what?" Tommy followed them out, spatula still in hand. "Martha, what's happening?" "It's handled, Tommy. Back to work." Brian's grip tightened on her elbow. "Martha's decided it's time to move on. Haven't you, Martha?" Say yes, nod, smile. Let him win. Let it be over. But something broke. "No." Brian blinked. "No." Martha said louder. "That's not what happened. Martha, he fired me." She pulled her arm free, faced the room, faced her people. "He fired me this morning. After 42 years. 10 minutes to pack my locker and a speech about efficiency." Silence. Complete. Total. "That's enough." Brian's face went red. "You're making this uncomfortable. Let's maintain some dignity." Dignity. The word came out sharp, cutting. "You fired me in a storage room. You wouldn't let me say goodbye, and now you want to lie to them. I want you to leave before you embarrass yourself further." He moved toward her, going to touch her again, going to remove her like trash. "Don't you touch her." Hank Mitchell stood up. Booth 7, 6'3", leather jacket, silver beard, Ironside. President of the Iron Hawks. 40 years coming to this diner. Brian froze. "This is a private business matter," Brian said, voice smaller now. "Private." Hank walked toward them, slow, deliberate. "You just announced it to the whole damn room, made it real public." Other customers stood. Jim, Carlos, Rachel, even the teenagers at table 3. "I'm asking you once to step back." Brian's voice shook. "Or I'm calling the police." "Call them." Hank stopped a few feet away. "But I was here when Martha started. When her husband left her with a baby and no money. When Bob hired her even though she'd never waitressed before. I watched her work doubles to pay for her daughter's school clothes. I watched her feed kids who couldn't afford to eat. Told them the cook made a mistake so they wouldn't feel shame." Martha's eyes burned. "Don't cry, not in front of Brian. Don't give him that." "That's very touching," Brian said flatly. "But it doesn't change anything. She needs to leave." "Then we all leave." Jim grabbed his coat. "I'm not giving money to a place that treats people like trash." "Me neither." Rachel dropped a 10 on the counter. "And I'll be telling everyone at the hospital about this." "Folks, please." Brian held up his hands. "Let's not be hasty. This is a business decision based on performance metrics." "Performance metrics." Carlos stood. His kids stared, wide-eyed. "My youngest was in the hospital last year. Pneumonia. Martha called us every day. When we got back, she'd organized a collection to help with our medical bills. That's her performance. Corporate policy prohibits employees from soliciting." "She didn't solicit anything." Carlos cut him off. "She cared. Something you don't understand. It happened fast. Customer after customer stood. Some left money, some didn't. But they all walked out. 5 minutes. The diner emptied. Brian's face went from red to white. "You just cost me a morning's revenue. I hope you're satisfied." "Satisfied? I just lost everything and you think I'm satisfied?" "No," Martha whispered. "I'm not satisfied. I'm heartbroken." She walked out. The others followed. Hank, Jim, Rachel, Carlos, the teenagers, all of them standing on the sidewalk with her. Martha. Hank's voice went gentle. You got somewhere to be. Someone to call. She couldn't speak, just shook her head. Say something. Thank them. Say anything. Nothing came out. My truck's around the corner, Jim offered. I can drive you home. I take the bus. Finally. Words. I always take the bus. Not today. Rachel put an arm around her. Today we're driving you home. Tomorrow we figure out what to do. But Martha didn't want to figure anything out. She wanted to rewind. Go back to burning coffee and morning rushes. Go back to being needed, wanted, not obsolete, not 70 years old with arthritis and not enough savings to retire. Not disposable. Thank you, she forced it out. All of you. But I'll be fine. I just need to go home. They let her go. Jim walked her to the bus stop, waited in silence. Number 47 arrived. Martha swiped her senior pass, found a seat by the window. The diner got smaller. Red neon sign. Grill House Diner. Open 24 hours. She'd worked every shift that place offered. Days, nights, holidays. Served coffee to cops and truckers. Cut birthday cakes. Served anniversary dinners. And now she was just done. 2 blocks from the bus stop to her building. 3rd floor. No elevator. Martha climbed. Her feet screamed. Inside, she set down the plastic bag, kicked off her shoes, sat on the couch. The silence was massive. What do I do now? What do I do with all this? Nothing. For 42 years, her life had been noise. The diner's soundtrack, conversations, coffee pots, the grill. Even at home, she heard it. The rhythm, the pattern, the faces. Now there was nothing. Martha sat. Didn't cry, didn't move. Just sat with her hands folded, staring at the photo of Sarah on the wall. 35 now, 3 states away. Husband, Sophie. What do I tell her? What do I say? Her phone buzzed. Rachel. Are you okay? Call me if you need anything. Carlos. This isn't right. We're not letting this go. Unknown number. Martha almost didn't open it. She tapped the screen. A video. She pressed play. Her own face filled the screen. Someone's phone from that morning. Martha being escorted by Brian, pulling free. He fired me. The confrontation. Brian's red face, customers walking out. Posted to social media an hour ago. 3,000 views already. Martha's hands shook. She dropped the phone. No. I didn't want this. Didn't want attention. Conflict. Any of it. She just wanted to serve coffee. Remember how people liked their eggs? Make someone's morning brighter. Was that so wrong? Was that really outdated? The phone kept buzzing. Texts, notifications, the video spreading. Martha turned it off. She changed out of her uniform. The white shirt, black pants, 1,000 times worn, put on sweatpants, old t-shirt, lay down on her bed, stared at the ceiling. 11:47 a.m. Is this what the rest of my life looks like? Staring at ceilings, waiting to die. She couldn't know that across town, Hank Mitchell was watching that same video for the 5th time, making calls. One, then another, 91 calls total. By sunset, everything would change. But right now, Martha lay in her small apartment and felt the weight. 42 years pressing down. The magnitude of loss. The cruel arithmetic of being disposable at 70. She closed her eyes. Behind her eyelids, she saw the diner. Morning light through windows. Steam from fresh coffee. Faces she'd fed and cared for and remembered. All of it slipping away. And finally, Martha Jensen let herself cry. Not the pretty kind of crying, the ugly kind. The kind that came from somewhere deep and broken. The kind that happened when you realized you'd given everything to something that didn't give a damn about you. How did I become nothing? How did 42 years turn into 10 minutes in a plastic bag? She cried until her throat hurt, until her eyes swelled, until there was nothing left but exhaustion. Her phone still off sat on the nightstand. If she'd turned it on, she would have seen the video had 50,000 views now. would have seen the comments flooding in, angry, outraged, demanding justice. She would have seen the local news picking up the story, would have seen Hank's message, "Hang tight, Martha, we're handling this." But she didn't turn it on. Instead, she lay there in the growing darkness of her bedroom and thought about all the small moments that made up 42 years. The first time a customer remembered her name, the first time someone asked for Martha's section, the first time a kid said, "Thank you, ma'am," with real gratitude in their eyes. The time Mr. Peterson, dead now 5 years, told her she made the best coffee in 3 counties. The time the Wilson twins came in on their 18th birthday and told her they'd been coming since they were 6 months old, that she was like a grandmother to them. The time a homeless vet sat in her section for 4 hours, and she kept his coffee full without saying a word about him not ordering food. And when he finally left, he'd written "Thank you for seeing me" on a napkin. All those moments, all that care, all that love poured into a place that had just thrown her away. Was I stupid? Was I a fool for caring that much? No. The answer came quick and certain. No, you weren't stupid. You were human. That's not a crime. But it felt like one. It felt like she'd been convicted and sentenced for the crime of being old, being slow, being outdated. Martha rolled onto her side, pulled her knees up, made herself small. Outside her window, the afternoon was happening. People going to work, coming from work, living their lives, the world turning without her. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be a person without that place. The diner had been her identity, her purpose, her family, when her real family was far away. And now it was just gone. How do you grieve something that's still standing? How do you mourn a place that's still serving coffee, just without you? She didn't have answers. The afternoon crawled by. Martha didn't get up, didn't eat, didn't drink. Just lay there in the dimming light and tried to imagine tomorrow, next week, next month, a whole life stretching ahead with nothing to fill it. Social Security wasn't enough to live on. Not comfortably. She'd been planning to work another 5 years, maybe 10. However long her body held out. The severance 2 weeks would cover maybe a month of expenses if she was careful. Then what? Then you figure it out. Like you figured it out when David left. Like you figured it out when Sarah needed braces and you didn't have insurance. Like you've always figured it out. But she was tired. So tired. Tired of figuring it out. Tired of being strong. Tired of surviving. For once, just once, couldn't something be easy? Her stomach growled. She ignored it. When did you eat last? Breakfast. Did you even eat breakfast? She couldn't remember. Doesn't matter. Food doesn't matter. Nothing matters. But even as she thought it, she knew it was a lie. Everything mattered. That was the problem. She'd spent 42 years caring about everything, every customer, every meal, every small moment of connection. You couldn't just turn that off like a switch. The light in her room faded, afternoon turning to evening. Martha watched the shadows move across her ceiling, watched the sun set through her window, the sky going from blue to orange to purple to black. Somewhere out there, the dinner rush was starting at the grill house. Someone else was taking her tables. Someone else was pouring coffee for old Jim. Someone else was remembering that Carlos liked hot sauce with his eggs. Or maybe they weren't remembering. Maybe the new person didn't care. Maybe Brian got what he wanted, efficiency over heart speed over soul. Maybe that's the world now. Maybe I really am outdated. The thought hurt worse than anything Brian had said. Her phone, still off, continued to miss calls, miss messages, miss the fact that something was building. Something big. Something that would reach her apartment before the night was over. But Martha didn't know that yet. All she knew was darkness, silence, loss. All she knew was that she'd been Martha Jensen, waitress at the Grill House Diner for 42 years. And now she was just Martha. Nothing special. Nothing needed. Just an old woman in a dark room crying quietly because she didn't know how to be anything else. Tomorrow would come. The sun would rise. The world would keep turning. But tonight, right now, Martha Jensen let herself break. Because sometimes that's all you can do. Sometimes you just have to break first before you can figure out how to rebuild. She just didn't know yet that she wouldn't have to rebuild alone. That 91 engines were already warming up across town. That an army of leather and chrome and fierce loyalty was preparing to ride. That Hank Mitchell had made a promise 40 years ago to always protect the people who protected others. And Martha Jensen had protected everyone. Now it was their turn to protect her. The phone rang at Hank Mitchell's house at 10:32 a.m. He didn't answer. He was watching the video for the third time. Martha's face. Brian's hand on her elbow. The lie about retirement. The way she pulled free and said the truth. He fired me. Hank set down his coffee, picked up his phone, dialed. Reaper, you see the video? Watching it now. Jake, Reaper Collins, Vice President of the Iron Hawks. 58 years old, voice like gravel. That's our Martha. That's our Martha, Hank repeated. Call the others. Church meeting. 1 hour. My garage. Copy that. Hank hung up. Dialed again. Preacher, it's Ironside. We got a situation. By noon 23, motorcycles lined up outside Hank's garage. More were coming. The Iron Hawks had 91 members spread across 3 counties. Hank was calling them all. Inside the garage, men who looked like they could tear the world apart sat quietly, waiting, listening. Hank stood in front of them, played the video on his phone, held it up so everyone could see. Martha's face filled the small screen. Some of you know her, Hank said. Some of you don't. Let me tell you who she is. He paced, slow, deliberate. 43 years ago, I was 19. Just got back from Vietnam, couldn't hold a job, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Had nightmares that made me wake up screaming. I was living in my car behind the old Texaco station, cold, hungry, broken. The room was silent. One morning I walked into the grill house with $3 in my pocket, ordered coffee. That's it, just coffee. This woman young back then, maybe 27, she brought me coffee. Then she brought me eggs and toast. I said I didn't order it. She said, "Cook made a mistake, can't let it go to waste." I knew it was a lie. I knew she was feeding me. But she let me keep my dignity. Hank stopped pacing, looked at each man. She did that for 3 months, every morning. Cook made a mistake. Until I finally got my disability check sorted out and could pay. And you know what she said when I tried to pay her back? She said, "You already did. You kept showing up." Reaper spoke up. She did that for me too. When I got out of prison, 20 years ago, same thing. Cook made a mistake. Me too, said Tommy Chains Rodriguez, 42 years old, tattoos up both arms. When my wife left, when I had nothing, Martha kept me alive. One by one they spoke. Different stories, same kindness. Hank let them talk, let them remember. Then he held up his phone again. This woman, this angel, just got fired by some corporate punk who wouldn't know loyalty if it bit him. She got fired for being exactly what the world needs more of, for caring, for being human. So what are we doing about it? Chains asked. We're writing. Hank's voice went hard. We're writing to that diner. We're making noise. We're making them see what they did, and we're not leaving until they make it right. When? Reaper stood up. Now. The word hung in the air like thunder. Call everyone, Hank continued. I want every Iron Hawk who can ride to meet us at the diner. 1 hour. Full colors. We're going to show this town what happens when you throw away someone who gave everything. Phones came out. Calls were made. Texts flew. Hank walked outside. The September afternoon was clear. Good riding weather. He looked at his bike, a 1978 Harley-Davidson FLH, rebuilt 3 times, more miles than he could count. Martha had asked him once why he kept riding, why he didn't just buy a truck like normal people. Because, he'd told her, when you've seen the things I've seen, when you've lived the life I've lived, you need something that reminds you you're still alive. Something that makes noise. Something that moves. She'd smiled, refilled his coffee, said, "Then you keep riding, honey. You keep making that noise. Now he was going to make noise for her. Hank pulled out his phone, scrolled through his contacts, found Martha's number. She'd given it to him years ago. In case of emergencies, she'd said. This was an emergency. He called. It went to voicemail. Martha, it's Hank, Ironside. I saw the video. I know you're hurting. I know you probably want to hide, but I need you to hear this. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. And we are going to fix this. Just hang on. We're coming. He hung up. Wondered if she'd even listen to it. Doesn't matter. We're still coming. By 2:30 p.m. 47, motorcycles filled the parking lot of the abandoned textile mill 3 blocks from the grill house. More kept arriving. 50, 60, 70. Hank watched them come in. Young ones, old ones, men and women, all wearing the Iron Hawks patch. All ready. At 2:47 p.m. 91 motorcycles were ready to ride. Listen up, Hank called out. His voice carried over the rumble of engines. This is a peaceful demonstration. We're not starting fights. We're not breaking laws. We're just showing up. Making presence. Making noise. Making them see what they did. Anyone can't handle that leave now. Nobody left. Then let's ride. 91 engines roared to life. The sound was massive, overwhelming, like thunder rolling through the streets. They rode in formation. 2 columns, Hank at the front, Reaper beside him, the others following, through downtown, past the courthouse, past the old high school. People stopped on sidewalks, stared, pointed. The procession turned onto Main Street. The Grill House diner came into view. Hank raised his fist. The signal. The formation spread out. 91 motorcycles lined up in front of the diner, perfectly spaced. Engines running. The sound was deafening. Inside the diner, Brian Hastings looked up from his desk, heard the noise, walked to the window. His face went white. What the hell? He ran to the front. The evening shift was starting. Jennifer, the server called in to replace Martha, stood behind the counter. Frozen, staring out the window. What's going on? Brian demanded. I think they're here for Martha. Brian's stomach dropped. Outside, Hank killed his engine, climbed off his bike, walked to the diner door, opened it. The bell chimed. Brian met him at the entrance. You need to leave. This is private property. Public business, Hank said calmly. We're customers. You're not here to eat. How do you know? Hank walked to the counter, sat down. Coffee? Black. Behind him, Reaper walked in. Then chains. Then more. One by one, the Iron Hawks filed into the diner, filling every booth, every counter seat, standing along the walls. Jennifer looked at Brian. Should I serve them? Yes, Hank said before Brian could answer. You should. We're paying customers, here for coffee and conversation. Brian's hands shook. What do you want? I want, Hank said slowly, to talk about Martha Jensen. You know, Martha woman, you fired this morning. That's not your concern. It's absolutely my concern. She's been feeding this town, feeding me for 42 years. You threw her out like garbage. That makes it everyone's concern. The other bikers murmured agreement. The sound rumbled through the diner. Look, Brian tried for reasonable, for calm. I understand you're upset, but this was a business decision, performance-based, nothing personal. Nothing personal. Chains stood up. 6'4", 260 pounds. You humiliated her in front of everyone, called it retirement when you fired her. That sounds pretty damn personal. I need you all to leave. Brian's voice cracked. Or I'm calling the police. Call them, Hank said. We're not doing anything illegal. Just sitting here, drinking coffee, waiting. Waiting for what? For you to make this right. Brian laughed, nervous, high-pitched. Make what right? She's fired. It's done. I can't just... You can call corporate, Reaper interrupted. You can tell them what happened. You can ask them to reinstate her. With back pay. With an apology. That's not how it works. Then make it work. Hank's voice went cold. Because we're not leaving until you do. Brian looked around. 91 bikers. All staring at him. All waiting. His phone rang. He pulled it out. Corporate number. Hello. Brian, what the hell is going on? Regional manager. Sarah Chen. We're getting calls about motorcycles at your location. There's been a situation, a protest, about an employee I terminated this morning. Who? Martha Jensen. She'd been here 42 years, but her metrics. You fired Martha Jensen. Sarah's voice went sharp. The Martha Jensen who's been at that location since before we acquired it. Yes, but are you insane? Do you have any idea how many customer loyalty scores mentioned her by name? How many surveys praised her specifically? Brian felt the ground shifting under him. Her efficiency ratings were... I don't care about her efficiency ratings. I care about a PR nightmare that's apparently unfolding in real time. Fix this. Now, offer her the job back. Full reinstatement. Do whatever it takes. But that's not a suggestion, Brian. That's an order. Fix it or start looking for a new job yourself. She hung up. Brian stood there, phone in hand, 91 faces watching him. Well, Hank asked, I need to make some calls. Then make them. Brian retreated to his office, closed the door. His hands shook as he scrolled through his contacts, found Martha's number, called, voicemail. He tried again, voicemail. Third time, voicemail. She's not answering. Why would she answer? He walked back out. She's not picking up. Then we wait, Hank said. We've got time. You can't just camp out here. Watch us. And they did. The Iron Hawks settled in. Some ordered food, some just coffee. But they all stayed, filling the diner, making it impossible for regular customers to enter. Brian watched his evening revenue evaporate, watched the clock tick, watched his career implode in real time. At 4:30 p.m., a police car pulled up. Officer Mike Donnelly walked in, 42 years old, born and raised local. He looked at the bikers, looked at Brian. Got a call about a disturbance. These people are refusing to leave, Brian said quickly. They're disrupting business. Mike looked around. I see a lot of people sitting quietly, drinking coffee. That's not a disturbance. They're intimidating. Are you intimidating anyone? Mike asked Hank. No, sir. Just sitting here, waiting for a wrong to be made right. Mike nodded slowly. This about Martha. You know about it. Whole town knows. Video's got 100,000 views now. My wife showed me at lunch. She's been crying about it all afternoon. Mike looked at Brian. Martha Jensen fed my family for free when I was a rookie and my daughter was sick. When we didn't have money for food and medicine both. She never said a word about it. Never made us feel small, just kept our plates full. Brian's face went pale. So no, Mike continued. I'm not removing these people. They're not breaking any laws. They're just customers expressing their opinion by choosing where to spend their time and money. He turned to Hank. How long you planning to stay? As long as it takes. Fair enough, Mike tipped his hat. Y'all have a good evening. He walked out. Brian stood there, trapped, surrounded, watching his world collapse. At 5:15 p.m., old Jim Patterson walked in, saw the bikers, saw Brian. Where's Martha? She doesn't work here anymore. I know that. Where is she? Is she okay? I don't know. She's not answering her phone. Because you destroyed her, Jim said quietly. 42 years. You destroyed her in 10 minutes. He turned to leave, stopped, looked at Hank. I'm not a biker. I'm just an old man who likes his morning coffee. But whatever you're doing here, I support it. This town supports it. Martha deserves better. Thank you, Hank said. Jim left, but others came, Rachel from the hospital, Carlos with his family, the teenagers from table 3, all of them coming to show support, to bear witness, to make presence. By 6:00 p.m., a local news van pulled up. Brian watched through the window as reporter Jessica Kim got out, camera crew behind her. His stomach turned to ice. No. Jessica walked in, looked at the bikers, looked at Brian, smiled. "I'm Jessica Kim, Channel 7 News. Someone want to tell me what's happening here?" Hank stood, happy to. This morning, this establishment fired a 70-year-old woman who'd worked here for 42 years. Fired her publicly, humiliated her, lied about it being retirement. We're here to protest that decision and demand she be reinstated. And you are Hank Mitchell, president of the Iron Hawks Motorcycle Club. Martha Jensen has been feeding this community, feeding people like me, for 4 decades. She's helped countless people, never asked for anything in return, just did good because that's who she is. And this morning she got thrown away like trash. Jessica turned to Brian. "Mr. Hastings, is that accurate? Did you fire Martha Jensen this morning?" That's a personnel matter. I can't comment on. The video of you firing her has over 200,000 views. Jessica interrupted. It shows you physically escorting her out while lying to customers about retirement. That's pretty well documented. Brian's mouth opened, closed. Nothing came out. "We'd like a statement," Jessica pressed. "Your side of the story." "No comment." Brian turned, walked to his office, locked the door. Jessica turned back to Hank, to the camera. "We're here at the Grill House Diner where over 90 members of a local motorcycle club have staged what they're calling a peaceful protest over the firing of beloved longtime waitress Martha Jensen. We'll continue to follow this developing story." The camera kept rolling. Jessica interviewed Reaper, then Chains, then Jennifer, who broke down crying and said she never wanted to take Martha's job, that Martha had trained her, that Martha was like a mother to everyone who worked there. The story went live at 6:30 p.m. By 7:00 p.m., the video had 500,000 views. By 8:00 p.m., national news picked it up. Martha's phone, still off, sat silent on her nightstand. She lay in her dark room, unaware that the world was watching, that an army had assembled in her name, that justice was rolling toward her like thunder. At 8:47 p.m., Brian's phone rang again. Corporate. Not Sarah this time. Higher. Much higher. "Mr. Hastings, this is David Park, VP of Operations. We need to talk about the situation at your location." Brian's career ended at 9:03 p.m. By 9:15 p.m., corporate had issued a statement. Full apology. Martha's reinstatement. Lifetime benefits. Brian Hastings terminated effective immediately. Hank got the notification, read it, stood up. "Brothers and sisters, we have a victory." The diner erupted in cheers. But Hank held up his hand. "We're not done yet. Martha still doesn't know, and she needs to hear it from us, from her family, not from a press release." "So what do we do?" Reaper asked. "We go get our girl," Hank said. "We bring her home." 91 motorcycles rolled through the streets at 9:27 p.m. Martha heard them first, a sound like distant thunder, getting closer, louder. She opened her eyes in the darkness. Her face was swollen from crying, her throat raw. "What is that?" The thunder grew, closer, closer, until it was right outside her building. Then it stopped. Silence. Complete. Total. Martha sat up. Her heart pounded. She reached for her phone. Still off. She pressed the button, waited for it to boot up. A knock at her door. She froze. Another knock. Gentle. Not threatening. "Martha," a voice through the door, familiar. "It's Hank, Ironside. I got some people here who want to talk to you." Martha stood. Her legs shook. She walked to the door, looked through the peephole. Hank stood there, silver beard, leather jacket. Behind him, the hallway was full. Reaper, Chains, others she recognized from the diner, all of them looking at her door like it was the most important door in the world. She unlocked it, opened it. What are you doing here?" "Can we come in?" Hank asked softly. Martha stepped back. They filed in. Her small apartment suddenly full of leather and kindness. Hank sat on her couch. The others stood along the walls, quiet, respectful. Martha, Hank started. You turned off your phone. I didn't want to see it. The video, the comments. I just wanted to. You don't understand. Hank pulled out his phone, handed it to her. You need to see this. Martha took it. The screen showed a news article. The headline read, Beloved Waitress Fired After 42 Years. Community Rallies in Support. Below it, a photo. 91 motorcycles lined up outside the grill house. What is this show? Keep reading. Martha scrolled. Her hands trembled. The article detailed everything. The protest, the bikers refusing to leave, the news coverage, the viral video reaching millions, corporate's response, Brian's termination, and at the bottom, Martha Jensen has been offered full reinstatement with back pay, lifetime benefits, and a formal apology from corporate headquarters. Martha looked up. This is real. As real as it gets, Reaper said from the wall. But I don't understand. How did this happen? You happened, Hank said. 42 years of kindness happened. You think people forgot. You think we forgot what you did for us, for this town. Martha's phone finally finished booting. Immediately it exploded with notifications. Dozens, hundreds, text messages, voicemails, social media notifications. The screen couldn't keep up. What is all this? That's the world telling you that you matter, Chain said quietly. Martha opened her texts. The first one from Sarah, her daughter. Mom, call me now. I just saw the video. I'm getting on a plane. I love you so much. Another from Rachel. Martha, turn on the news. Channel 7. Right now. Another from Jim. The whole town is behind you. Come back to us. Another from someone she didn't know. I've never met you, but my grandmother worked as a waitress for 50 years. Watching your story broke my heart and gave me hope. Thank you for showing dignity in the face of cruelty. Martha's eyes filled with tears again. But different tears, not grief. Something else. I don't know what to say. Say you'll come back, Hank said. Say you'll let us take you to the diner. Right now. Tonight. Let them see what they almost lost. I can't. I'm a mess. I've been crying all day. You look exactly how you should look, Hank interrupted. You look human. That's what they took from you this morning, your humanity. Let's go take it back. Martha looked around her apartment. At these people, these bikers who the world probably saw as dangerous as outlaws standing in her living room like protective brothers. Like family. Why are you doing this? Because Hank said simply, when I was 19 and broken and sleeping in my car, you fed me. You let me keep my dignity. You saved my life, Martha. You just didn't know it. Me too, Reaper added. When I got out. When nobody would look at me. You looked at me. Me too, Chain said. When my wife left. When I wanted to die. You gave me a reason to get up every morning. One by one they spoke. Different stories. Same salvation. Martha put her hand over her mouth. I just made extra eggs, that's all. I just made extra eggs. You made people feel human, Hank corrected. In a world that treats people like numbers, you made us feel seen. That's not small, Martha, that's everything. Martha wiped her eyes, looked at her reflection in the dark TV screen. Sweatpants, old t-shirt, swollen face, no makeup, hair a mess. I can't go out like this. But then she thought about Brian's words. You don't fit. About being called outdated, obsolete, not enough. Maybe I don't need to fit. Maybe I just need to be myself. Okay, she whispered. Okay, let's go. The ride down the stairs felt eternal. Martha held the railing. Her legs still shook. Hank walked beside her, steady, patient. The others followed. Outside, Martha stopped. 91 motorcycles lined the street. All of them, engines off, silent, but powerful in their stillness, like sleeping dragons. Oh my God. Every one of them came for you, Hank said. Every single member who could ride. Some drove 4 hours. Some left work early. But they all came. Martha saw them then. The riders standing by their bikes, watching her. As she appeared, they started clapping. Slowly at first. Then louder. Then cheering. For her. For Martha Jensen, 70-year-old waitress who'd just made extra eggs. She couldn't speak. Couldn't move. Just stood there as 91 bikers applauded her existence. Come on, Hank said gently. Let's get you home. He led her to his bike, handed her a helmet. Ever ridden? Once, 40 years ago, with Bob, the old owner. He had a Honda. Then you remember. Hold on to me. Lean when I lean. Trust the bike. Martha climbed on behind him, put on the helmet, wrapped her arms around Hank's waist. He was solid, real, safe. You ready? No. Yes. I don't know. I'm ready. The engines roared to life, all 91 at once. The sound was massive, overwhelming. Martha felt it in her chest, in her bones, the vibration of power and purpose. They rode through town, 2 columns, Martha on Hank's bike in the center, protected, honored, the guest of honor in a parade she never asked for but desperately needed. People came out of their houses, stood on porches, waved. Some held signs. We love you, Martha. Justice for Martha. 42 years of kindness. Where did these come from? How did they make these so fast? Social media. Hank called back over his shoulder, reading her mind. Town Facebook group organized. They've been making signs all evening. The procession turned onto Main Street. The grill house came into view, and Martha's breath caught. The parking lot was packed, not just with motorcycles, with people. Hundreds of them, maybe more. Standing, waiting, holding candles, holding signs, creating a wall of support. As the motorcycles approached, the crowd erupted, cheering, chanting her name. Martha, Martha, Martha. Hank pulled up to the front, killed his engine, helped Martha off the bike. Her legs barely held her. The crowd pressed closer, not threatening, loving, eager. Jessica Kim from Channel 7 rushed forward, camera crew behind her. Martha Jensen, can we get a statement? I don't know what to say. How do you feel about corporate's decision to reinstate you? I feel... Martha looked at the crowd, at the bikers, at the faces of people she'd served for decades. I feel overwhelmed, grateful. I still can't believe this is real. What do you want people to know about what happened today? Martha thought about it, about Brian's words, about efficiency and metrics, about being called outdated. I want people to know that kindness isn't outdated, she said quietly. That caring about people really caring still matters, that we're not just numbers on a spreadsheet, we're human beings, and we need each other. The crowd roared approval. One more question, Jessica pressed. Will you go back? Will you accept the reinstatement? Martha looked at the diner, the place she'd given 42 years to, the place that had fired her that morning. She could see movement inside. Jennifer behind the counter. The new manager corporate had sent someone to replace Brian standing near the register, both of them watching through the window. Will I go back? Can I go back? I don't know yet, Martha admitted. This morning I was thrown away. Tonight I'm being asked to come back. I need time to think about what that means, about what I want. For 42 years I put this place first. Maybe it's time I put myself first. The crowd went quiet. Respectful, waiting. But, Martha continued, her voice stronger now, I want to thank everyone here, everyone who stood up, everyone who cared. You gave me something today I thought I'd lost. You gave me my dignity back. And that's worth more than any job. The crowd erupted again, chanting, cheering. Hank put his hand on her shoulder. You want to go inside, or you want to go home? Before Martha could answer, the diner door opened. An older woman stepped out. 65, gray hair, expensive suit. She walked directly to Martha. Ms. Jensen, I'm Patricia Morrison, Regional Vice President. I flew in from Chicago as soon as I heard. On behalf of the entire corporation, I want to apologize. What happened to you today was unconscionable. It violated every value we claim to hold, and I'm here to make it right. Martha stared at her. This woman flew from Chicago. For me. Mr. Hastings has been terminated, Patricia continued. His actions were inexcusable. We're offering you full reinstatement. Your salary increased by 20%. Full benefits including health insurance and retirement contributions. Lifetime free meals. And a formal written apology that will be posted in every one of our locations. The crowd listened, silent now, waiting for Martha's response. That's very generous, Martha said slowly. But I need to ask you something. Anything. Do you know why he fired me? The real reason? Patricia hesitated. He cited performance metrics, efficiency concerns. He fired me because I talked to customers, Martha said. Because I remember how they like their coffee. Because I take time to ask about their families. He said I was outdated, that the business needed speed, not relationships. So my question is, has that changed? Or are you just offering me my job back because of bad publicity? The question hung in the air like smoke. Patricia took a breath. You want the truth? Always. The truth is, we made a mistake. A big one. We've been so focused on numbers on efficiency and turnover rates and profit margins that we forgot what actually brings customers in. People like you. People who make a diner feel like home. You're right to question us. You're right to be angry. And if you don't come back, I'll understand. But I hope you'll give us a chance to do better. Martha looked at Hank, at the bikers, at the crowd, all of them watching, waiting for her decision. What do I want? What do I really want? I need time, Martha said finally. I need to think, to process. This morning I was fired. Tonight I'm being offered everything. It's too much, too fast. Of course, Patricia said quickly. Take all the time you need. A week, a month, whatever you need. The offer stands. Thank you. Patricia nodded, started to turn away, stopped. Ms. Jensen, for what it's worth, I read through 4 years of customer surveys today. Your name appears in 73% of them. 73%. People specifically request you, praise you, thank you. I've been in this business 30 years and I've never seen numbers like that. So whatever you decide, please know you're not outdated. You're irreplaceable. She went back inside. The crowd waited. Martha stood there trying to process everything. 12 hours ago, she was crying alone in her apartment. Now she was standing in front of hundreds of people who cared about her, who fought for her, who showed up. Martha, a voice from the crowd. Old Jim pushing through. Martha, we want to do something, if you'll let us. Do what? Feed you. Jim's eyes were wet. For once, we want to feed you. Let us take care of you the way you've taken care of us. Before Martha could respond, Carlos appeared. We set up tables across the street, in the parking lot of the old hardware store. The owner gave us permission. We've got food, music, a celebration, for you. I don't need a celebration. We do, Rachel said, joining them. We need to celebrate you, to thank you. Please, Martha, let us do this. Martha looked across the street. Sure enough, tables were set up. String lights hung between poles. She could see food platters of it. Donated by every restaurant in town. A makeshift stage with speakers. People setting up chairs. When did they do all this? We've been planning since this afternoon, Jim said, reading her face. As soon as the video went viral, the whole town pitched in. Martha felt tears coming again, but she was tired of crying, tired of being overwhelmed. She wanted to feel something else, something good. Okay, she whispered. Okay, let's celebrate. The crowd roared. People surged forward, not to mob her, to guide her, to escort her across the street like she was royalty. The bikers formed a protective line, Hank on one side, Reaper on the other. They led her to a table at the center, a chair decorated with flowers, a sign above it, Martha's table. She sat. People brought her food, plates of it, more than she could possibly eat. Brought her coffee, made the way you make it, Martha, strong and honest. Brought her dessert. Brought her love in the form of meals. Someone turned on music, nothing fancy, classic country. The kind of music that played in the diner during slow afternoons. People started dancing, laughing, talking, and Martha sat at the center of it all watching. These were her people, the ones she'd fed, the ones she'd cared for. And now they were caring for her. Tommy from the diner appeared at her table. His eyes were red. "Martha, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't say anything this morning. I should have stood up for you. I should have..." "Tommy." Martha took his hand. "You're 23 years old. You need that job. I don't blame you for staying quiet. But you trained me. You taught me everything. And I just stood there." "You're here now," Martha said gently. "That's what matters." He hugged her, hard, then went to join the others. Jennifer came next, the server who'd replaced her. "Ms. Jensen, I never wanted your job. Never. They called me in and I thought it was just to help with rush. When I found out they fired you, I almost quit right there." "Why didn't you..." "I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. I can't afford to quit." Jennifer's voice broke. "But I feel terrible, like I stole from you." "You didn't steal anything," Martha said firmly. "You're just trying to survive, like all of us. Don't carry guilt for their decisions." Jennifer nodded, wiped her eyes, left. More people came, one by one, sharing stories, sharing thanks, sharing pieces of their lives that Martha had touched without knowing. A young man approached, maybe 30, nervous. "Ms. Jensen, you probably don't remember me. I'm David Wilson. You knew me as Davy." Martha looked at him, tried to place the face. "I used to come in with my mom. About 20 years ago. We were homeless for a while, living in our car. Mom would come in and order just water. And you'd bring us food. Said the cook made mistakes. I was 10 years old and I knew it was a lie, but it was the kindest lie anyone ever told me." Martha remembered, vaguely, a woman and a boy, coming in during off hours, always ordering water, always hungry, always grateful. "I remember," Martha whispered. "You saved our lives," David said, his voice steady despite the tears on his face. "Literally, we were starving. Mom was too proud to ask for help, but you gave it anyway. You made it okay, and I never forgot. I'm a social worker now. I work with homeless families. Because of you. Because you showed me that kindness matters." He hugged her. Martha held him tight. This boy, this man who she'd fed 20 years ago, who'd grown up to help others because someone helped him. This is why I did it. The night went on. People kept coming, kept sharing, kept showing Martha the ripples of her kindness spreading through decades, through generations. At 11:47 p.m., Hank approached her table. "You doing okay?" "I'm exhausted, overwhelmed, but okay, better than okay." "Good." He sat down beside her. "I want to tell you something I never told anyone." Martha waited. "When you started feeding me 43 years ago, I was planning to kill myself," Hank said quietly. "I had a gun, had a plan, was going to do it after one last meal. But that first morning, when you brought me those eggs, when you smiled at me like I mattered, something shifted. I came back the next day to see if it was real. If you'd still be kind. You were. So I came back again, and again. And by the time I realized it, I didn't want to die anymore. I wanted to live, to be the kind of person who deserved your kindness." Martha's hand went to her mouth. "You saved my life, Martha. You didn't know it. I never told you. But those eggs, those mistakes, they saved my life. And I've spent 40 years trying to pass that on. Trying to save others the way you saved me. The Iron Hawks. Half the guys in the club are here because I pulled them out of dark places. And I only knew how to do that because you showed me how. Hank, you don't have to say anything. I just needed you to know, needed you to understand what you've done. Not just for me, for all of us. You think you were just making eggs, but you were making hope. You were making reasons to live. Martha couldn't speak, could barely breathe. The weight of it, 42 years of small kindnesses, adding up to saved lives, pressed down on her. So whatever you decide about the job, Hank continued, I want you to know you are not outdated. You are not obsolete. You are the most important person some of us have ever known, and we will spend the rest of our lives making sure you know that. Martha pulled him into a hug. This giant man who looked like he could fight the world. This gentle soul who she'd fed when he was broken. Holding each other in the middle of a celebration that felt like redemption. Thank you, she whispered. For today. For all of it. Thank you. No, Martha, Hank said. Thank you. For everything. Forever. The celebration lasted until almost 2 a.m. Martha watched people she'd known for decades dance and laugh and share stories about her like she was already a legend. It felt surreal. Wrong, almost. She was just Martha, just a waitress who'd done her job. But they didn't see it that way. At 1:47 a.m., Hank drove her home. The streets were empty now, quiet. The rumble of his motorcycle the only sound cutting through the night. When they pulled up to her building, Martha didn't want to get off, didn't want the night to end. Because tomorrow would come, and she'd have to make decisions, real ones, about her life, about her future, about whether she could ever walk back into that diner and feel like it was home again. You going to be okay? Hank asked as she handed him the helmet. I don't know. Ask me tomorrow. I'll call you. Check in. Hank. Martha hesitated. What you said tonight. About the gun. About wanting to... It's true. All of it. I had no idea. I just thought you were hungry. I was, just not for food. He looked at her. You fed something deeper, something that was starving, and you did it without even knowing. That's the thing about kindness, Martha. You never know what it saves. You just have to do it anyway. Martha nodded. Couldn't speak, just squeezed his hand and went inside. Her apartment felt different now. Not empty, not silent, full somehow, full of possibility, of hope, of something she couldn't quite name but could feel pressing against her chest. She turned on her phone. The notifications had multiplied. Thousands now. Messages from people across the country, across the world, sharing their own stories of waitresses and janitors and bus drivers who'd shown them kindness when they needed it most. One message from Sarah. Mom, my flight lands at 8 a.m. Don't go anywhere. We need to talk. I love you so much. Martha set the phone down, looked at the clock. 2:15 a.m. 5 hours until Sarah arrived. 5 hours to figure out what to say. How to explain that she didn't know what came next. That for the first time in 42 years, she was completely unmoored. She lay down, didn't sleep, just stared at the ceiling and thought about everything that had happened. Brian's face when he fired her, the plastic bag of her belongings, the bus ride home, the crying, the darkness, then the motorcycles, the crowd, the celebration, the stories. Hank's confession. 12 hours. Her entire life had changed in 12 hours. At 7:30 a.m., Martha showered, put on clean clothes, made coffee, tried to eat toast, but couldn't. Her stomach was twisted, nervous, excited, scared. What if I go back and it's wrong? What if I can't do it anymore? The knock came at 7:58 a.m. Martha opened the door. Sarah stood there, 35 years old, brown hair like Martha's used to be, green eyes, her daughter, her baby. They didn't speak, just held each other. Sarah crying, Martha crying. Two women who'd survived everything life threw at them by holding on to each other. Mom, Sarah finally said. Mom, I saw the video. I watched it 20 times on the plane. I wanted to fly back here and punch that man in the face. Sarah. No, let me finish. I watched him fire you, watched him humiliate you, and all I could think was, This is the woman who worked 3 jobs to send me to college, who never complained, who never asked for help, and some corporate nobody threw you away like you were nothing. Honey, it's okay. It's not okay. Sarah's voice broke. It's not okay that you gave everything to that place and they treated you like that. It's not okay that you've been carrying everyone else your whole life and nobody was carrying you. Until last night, when I saw that footage of the bikers and the crowd. Mom, do you understand what you did? Do you understand how many lives you touched? Martha sat down heavily. Sarah sat beside her. I don't know what to do, Martha admitted. They want me to come back. Full reinstatement, better pay, benefits, everything. But I don't know if I can walk back into that place and pretend nothing happened. Then don't pretend. Go back on your terms, or don't go back at all. Stay home, retire for real, live off your savings and Social Security, and let me help with the rest. I can't take money from you. Why not? You gave me everything. Let me give something back. Martha looked at her daughter. When did she grow up? When did she become so strong? I need to see it, Martha said quietly. The diner. I need to go there. See if it still feels like home. Can you drive me? Right now. Right now. They drove in silence. Sarah's rental car, cutting through morning traffic. The sun was up, bright. The world looked the same as it always had, but Martha felt different, changed, like she'd died yesterday and come back as someone new. The diner came into view. The parking lot was empty except for a few cars. Morning shift. Early crew. Martha's heart hammered. You want me to come in with you? Sarah asked. No, I need to do this alone. Martha got out, walked to the door, her hand on the handle. 42 years she'd walked through this door. 42 years of opening shifts and closing shifts and everything in between. She pulled it open. The bell chimed. That same sound. That familiar chime. Jennifer looked up from behind the counter. Her eyes went wide. Martha! Oh my God, Martha! The other servers stopped. Tommy emerged from the kitchen. The new manager, a woman in her 50s named Claire, stepped out of the office. Everyone froze. Hi, Martha said. Her voice came out small, uncertain. Martha. Claire moved forward, extended her hand. I'm Claire Patterson. I was brought in to manage this location. I've heard so much about you, from everyone. I'm honored to meet you. Martha shook her hand. Nice to meet you. I know this must be difficult, coming back, after everything. But I want you to know things are going to be different. Better. I promise you that. How what? How will they be different? Martha pressed. What changed? Besides the manager. Claire took a breath. May I be honest? Please. Corporate realized something yesterday. Something they should have known all along. Numbers matter, but people matter more. We can train anyone to serve food, but we can't train someone to care the way you care, to build relationships, to make a place feel like home. That's a gift, and they almost threw it away. Martha felt tears threatening, pushed them back. So we're implementing changes, Claire continued. New metrics, new priorities, customer relationships, community impact, employee well-being, the things that actually matter. And I was told specifically if Martha comes back, we do things her way, not ours, hers. Her way, Martha repeated. What does that mean? It means you set your hours, you work the shifts you want, you train new people your way, you build relationships your way, because your way works. Your way built this place's reputation, and we were fools to forget that. Tommy stepped forward. Martha, I quit yesterday, after the protest. I couldn't stay after what they did to you, but Claire called me this morning, asked me to come back, said things would change. I said I'd only come back if you came back. So, are you coming back? Martha looked around the diner, the booths, the counter, the kitchen. Every inch of it was familiar. Every inch held memories. Good ones. Hard ones. 42 years worth. But was it still home?
Can I have a minute? Martha asked.
Alone? Of course. Claire gestured to everyone. Let's give her space. They filed out, into the kitchen, into the office, leaving Martha standing alone in the empty diner. She walked to booth 7, Hank's booth, sat down, put her hands on the table, closed her eyes. What do I do? What do I really want? The truth was complicated. Part of her wanted to walk away, to never come back, to protect herself from ever being hurt like that again. But another part, a deeper part, missed this. Missed the rhythm of service, missed the faces, missed the purpose. I'm 70 years old. How many good years do I have left? Do I want to spend them hiding or living? She opened her eyes, looked at the empty diner. It wasn't the diner that had hurt her. It was one man, one decision, one moment of corporate cruelty, but the diner itself, the work itself, that was still good, still pure, still worth doing. Martha stood, walked to the counter, found an apron hanging on the hook. Her apron. Someone had kept it. She put it on, tied it behind her back, felt the familiar weight of it. She walked to the coffee maker, started a fresh pot. The smell filled the diner, that rich, honest smell of coffee brewing, the smell of mornings, of new beginnings. The door to the kitchen opened. Tommy poked his head out. Martha, I'm back, she said. On my terms, my way, but I'm back. Tommy's face split into a grin. He disappeared. Came back with Jennifer, with Claire, with the others, all of them staring at her like she'd just performed a miracle. Really? Claire asked. You're coming back. On one condition. Name it. I want a say in who we hire, who we train, how we treat people. I want to make sure nobody else gets thrown away for caring too much. Can you promise me that? Absolutely. You have my word. And corporate's backing on it. Martha nodded, poured herself a cup of coffee, took a sip. It tasted like it always had. Strong, honest, real. Then I'm back, starting Monday. Not today. I need the weekend to process, to rest. But Monday morning, 5:30, I'll be here. The staff erupted in cheers. Tommy hugged her. Jennifer cried. Claire shook her hand again harder this time, relief and gratitude radiating from her. Thank you, Claire said. Thank you for giving us another chance. Don't thank me yet, Martha said. Just make sure you mean it. All those changes you mentioned. Make sure they happen. Because I'm too old to waste time on empty promises. They'll happen, I guarantee it. Martha stayed for another hour, drank coffee, talked with the staff, let them apologize, let them explain, let them show her that they meant it, that things really would be different. At 10:15 a.m., she walked out. Sarah was waiting in the car. Well, Sarah asked as Martha climbed in, I'm going back, Monday, on my terms. Sarah looked at her, really looked. Are you sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. Why? Martha thought about it, about Hank's story, about David Wilson becoming a social worker, about all the lives she'd touched without knowing, about the fact that she had maybe 10 good years left, maybe 15 if she was lucky, about what she wanted to do with that time. Because hiding isn't living, Martha said finally. And I didn't survive 70 years to spend my last ones hiding. I'm going back because that diner needs someone who cares. Because this town needs someone who sees them. Because I need purpose. Even if it's just making coffee and remembering how people take their eggs. Sarah reached over, squeezed her hand. Then I support you. But promise me something. What? Promise me you'll put yourself first this time. Set boundaries. Take breaks. Don't give everything away until there's nothing left. You get to be human too, Mom. You get to need things too. I promise, Martha said, and meant it. They drove home. Martha spent the weekend resting, sleeping, eating actual meals, talking to Sarah about everything and nothing, avoiding her phone mostly, except to call Hank and thank him again, to call Rachel and Jim and Carlos and tell them she was coming back. Sunday evening, Sarah's flight left. Martha drove her to the airport, They hugged at security. "You're amazing, Mom," Sarah whispered. "Don't ever forget that. You're the strongest person I know." "I love you, sweetheart. Give Sophie a kiss for me." "I will. Call me. Every day. Promise." "Promise." Martha watched her daughter disappear through security, then drove home, alone again. But it felt different now. Not lonely, just quiet, peaceful. She went to bed early, set her alarm for 5:00 a.m. Monday morning was coming, her first day back, her first day on her terms. At 4:47 a.m. the alarm went off. Martha got up, showered, put on her uniform. The same white shirt, the same black pants, but different somehow. Like they fit better now. Like she fit better now. She made coffee, drank it slowly, thought about the day ahead, about walking back into that diner, about seeing her regulars, about starting over. At 5:15 a.m. her phone rang. "Hank." "Morning, Martha, just checking. You doing okay?" "I'm nervous, but okay, good even." "Good. Listen, I know you're going back today, and I know you probably want it to be quiet, normal. But the guys want to ride by, just once, this morning, show support. Would that be okay? Or would it be too much?" Martha thought about it. About 91 motorcycles rumbling past the diner. About making a statement on her first day back. "How about just you?" she said. "Come in for breakfast. 6:30. I'll make you eggs. Like old times." "Like old times," Hank repeated, his voice thick with emotion. "I'll be there. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Hank. For everything. For saving me when I thought I was past saving. We saved each other. That's what family does." Martha arrived at the diner at 5:28 a.m., unlocked the door, turned on the lights. The place came to life around her. Familiar, known, home. She started coffee, prepared the station, got everything ready for opening. Tommy arrived at 5:45, saw her, grinned. "Morning, Martha. Good to have you back." "Good to be back." Jennifer came in at 5:52, hugged Martha. "I'm so glad you're here. I was afraid you'd change your mind." "I almost did, but here I am." "Here you are." At 6:00 a.m. they unlocked the front door. The morning shift began. Martha took her section. Booths 1 through 7, her usual, her territory. The first customer walked in. Old Jim. He saw Martha behind the counter. Stopped, his eyes filled with tears. "Martha Jensen, there you are." "Here I am, Jim. Coffee." "Please, black. You know how I like it." "I do. I remember." She poured his coffee, set it in front of him. He looked at her like she'd just given him the world. "I'm glad you came back," he said quietly. "This place isn't the same without you." "I'm glad too, I think." More customers filed in. Rachel, Carlos with his family, the teenagers from table 3, every one of them stopping, staring, smiling, welcoming her home. At 6:28 a.m. the door opened. Hank walked in, leather jacket, silver beard. He sat at booth 7, his booth. Martha walked over, coffee pot in hand, smiled. "Morning, Ironside. Coffee." "Please. Black." She poured. "You hungry?" "Starving." "How about eggs 2 over easy? Wheat toast. Side of bacon." "You remembered." "I always remember." Hank looked up at her, this woman who'd saved his life 43 years ago, who'd just survived the hardest week of her life and come back stronger. "Welcome home, Martha." "Thank you, Hank, for giving me a home to come back to." She walked to the kitchen, called in his order, poured more coffee, took more orders, fell back into the rhythm she'd known for 42 years. The rhythm that had defined her, that had saved her, that had saved so many others. And for the first time since Tuesday morning, Martha Jensen felt like herself again. Not outdated, not obsolete, not disposable, just Martha, 70 years old, waitress, coffee pourer, egg maker, lifesaver, just herself. And that was enough. That was everything. She was home. 3 weeks passed like water finding its level. Martha fell back into the rhythm of the diner, but it wasn't the same rhythm as before. It was better, slower in the right places, faster where it mattered. Claire kept her promises. New hires were interviewed by Martha first. Training was done, Martha's way. Relationships over speed, care over metrics. The corporate office sent new guidelines emphasizing community connection and employee well-being. They'd printed Martha's photo in their quarterly newsletter with the headline, "The Heart of Hospitality." Martha had laughed when she saw it. "I'm just making coffee." But Tommy had shaken his head. "No, Martha, you're making family." The Iron Hawks came in every Sunday morning, all 91 of them when they could. They'd take over the back section, order breakfast, leave generous tips. Hank always sat at booth 7, always ordered the same thing, always looked at Martha like she'd hung the moon. On the 4th Sunday, a young woman walked in. 22, maybe 23, thin, nervous. She sat at the counter, stared at the menu like it was written in a foreign language. Martha approached. "Morning, honey. Coffee?" "Just water, please." Martha poured water. Waited. The girl's eyes kept darting to the menu, to the prices, back to her lap where her hands twisted together. Martha had seen this look before. 1,000 times. 1,000,000 times. "You hungry?" Martha asked gently. I don't have much money. I just needed to sit somewhere warm for a bit. Is that okay?" "It's absolutely okay." Martha leaned against the counter. "But you know what? The cook just made way too many pancakes. Total mistake. We're going to have to throw them out unless someone eats them. You'd actually be doing me a favor." The girl's eyes filled with tears. "I know that's not true." "Does it matter?" Martha asked. "You're hungry. I have food. Let me feed you." "I can't pay." "Did I ask you to pay? I asked you to help me not waste food. That's all." The girl nodded. Couldn't speak. Just nodded. Martha went to the kitchen, made a full breakfast. Pancakes, eggs, bacon, toast. Brought it out. Set it in front of the girl. "What's your name, honey?" "Lisa." "I'm Martha. You eat. Take your time. And when you're done, if you want to talk, I'm here. If you don't want to talk, that's okay too." Lisa ate slowly, like she was afraid the food would disappear. Martha refilled her water, brought her orange juice, didn't hover, just checked in. When Lisa finished, she sat there, staring at the empty plate. Finally, she spoke. "I lost my job 2 weeks ago. Lost my apartment last week. I've been sleeping in my car. I haven't eaten in 3 days. I came in here because I saw all those motorcycles and I thought, I don't know what I thought, that maybe if there were that many people here, it was a safe place, a kind place." "It is," Martha said. "And you're welcome here anytime. No conditions, no expectations, just welcome." "Why?" Lisa looked up. "Why are you being nice to me? You don't even know me. I don't need to know you to see you're hurting, to see you need help. That's enough." Lisa started crying. Not quiet tears. Big, gasping sobs. Martha came around the counter, put her arms around this stranger, this girl who was someone's daughter, someone's baby, and held her while she broke. Hank watched from booth 7, caught Martha's eye, gave her a small nod. This is why we fought for you." When Lisa calmed down, Martha sat beside her. "You have family, someone you can call, my mom, in Oregon. But I haven't talked to her in 2 years. We fought. I said terrible things. I don't think she'd want to hear from me." "She's your mother. She wants to hear from you. Trust me." Martha pulled out her phone. "You want to use my phone? Call her." "I'm scared." "I know. But sometimes the scariest thing is also the right thing." Lisa took the phone, dialed with shaking hands, waited. Martha heard it ring, once, twice, 3 times. "Hello," a woman's voice. "Mom." Lisa's voice cracked. "Mom, it's me. It's Lisa." Silence. Then, "Baby. Oh my God, baby, where are you? Are you okay?" "I'm not okay. I'm really not okay. I need help. I need to come home." "Come home. Right now. Today. I'll buy you a ticket. Just tell me where you are." Lisa gave her the address. The Grill House Diner. Martha watched tears stream down the girl's face. relief, hope, fear, all of it mixed together.
Mom, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I said.
It doesn't matter. None of it matters. Just come home. I love you. I've always loved you. They talked for 10 more minutes. Lisa handed the phone back to Martha. She's buying me a bus ticket, leaves at 2 o'clock. I can't believe after everything, she still wants me. That's what mothers do, Martha said softly. We wait. We hope. We never stop loving. Thank you. I don't know how to thank you. You just did, by calling your mom, by going home. That's all the thanks I need. Lisa left at 1:30. Martha gave her $20 for the bus, hugged her hard, watched her walk out the door. Tommy came over. You just did it again. Did what? Changed a life, like it's nothing, like it's just Tuesday. It is just Tuesday, and it is nothing. It's just food and a phone call. It's everything, Martha. To her, it's everything. Martha went back to work, poured coffee, took orders, made small talk, all the ordinary things that made up extraordinary days. At 3:00 p.m., Claire called her into the office. Martha's stomach clenched. What now? What did I do? But Claire was smiling. Sit down, Martha. I have something to show you. She turned her laptop around. On the screen, a video. Lisa had posted it an hour ago, sitting on a bus, tears in her eyes, telling her story about being homeless, about walking into the grill house, about a 70-year-old waitress named Martha who'd fed her and helped her call her mother. This angel saved my life today, Lisa said on the video. She didn't have to. She didn't know me. But she saw me, really saw me, and she helped. If you're struggling, if you're alone, I want you to know there are still good people in this world, people like Martha. Hold on, help is out there. The video had 50,000 views already, comments flooding in, people sharing their own stories of kindness, of strangers who'd helped them, of the Marthas in their own lives. You're going viral again, Claire said, but this time for the right reasons. Martha didn't know what to say. She'd just done what she always did. Made extra food, shared a phone. Basic human decency. How was that viral worthy? I just helped a kid, Martha said. That's all. No, Claire corrected gently. You showed her she mattered. In a world that keeps telling people they don't matter, you showed her she does. That's not small, Martha. That's everything. The weeks turned into months. Fall became winter. The diner thrived, not because of metrics or efficiency, because people wanted to be there, wanted to be seen, wanted to be part of something that felt like home. Martha trained new servers her way. Remember their names, remember their orders, remember their stories. People don't come here just for food. They come here to feel human. Don't ever forget that. The new servers listened, learned, started building their own relationships with customers, started understanding what Martha had always known: hospitality isn't just service. It's love made visible. In December, Martha turned 71. The diner threw her a party. The whole town showed up. Cake, presents, speeches. Hank stood up and told the story again about the eggs that saved his life, about the kindness that changed everything. Martha Jensen taught me that one person can make a difference, Hank said. That small acts, repeated over time, create legacies. That kindness isn't outdated, it's eternal. And I hope I'm making her proud by trying to live the way she taught me, by seeing people, by helping when I can, by remembering that we're all just trying to survive this hard, beautiful life. And sometimes the difference between surviving and thriving is just someone who cares. The crowd applauded. Martha cried. Happy tears this time. Grateful tears. Sarah had flown in with Sophie, 8 years old now, wide-eyed at all the people celebrating her grandmother. Grandma, Sophie whispered. Are you famous? No, baby. I'm just old. Hank said you're a hero. Hank exaggerates. But Sophie shook her head. Mom says you taught her that being kind is the bravest thing you can do, because it's easy to be mean, easy to be selfish. But being kind when the world is cruel, that takes courage. Martha looked at her granddaughter. This little girl who was watching, learning, absorbing everything. Do you believe that, Sophie? I think so. I want to be like you when I grow up. Then remember this, Martha said. You don't have to be special to be kind. You don't have to be rich or smart or talented. You just have to see people. Really see them. And help when you can. That's all. That's everything. Sophie hugged her. I'll remember, Grandma. I promise. January came. Cold. Gray. The kind of winter that made people want to stay inside. But the diner stayed full. People needed warmth. Coffee. Connection. One morning, a teenager walked in. 16, maybe 17. He sat at the counter, counted coins from his pocket. Martha saw him add them up 3 times. Saw his shoulders slump. She walked over. Morning. What can I get you? Just coffee. Please. Martha poured coffee. Waited. The kid looked exhausted. Dark circles under his eyes. Clothes that didn't quite fit. You okay, honey? Yeah, fine. You sure? Because you look like someone who could use more than coffee. The kid's jaw tightened. I said I'm fine. Martha nodded, walked away, gave him space. But she watched, saw him sip the coffee slowly, making it last, saw him pull out a notebook, start working on homework. She went to the kitchen, made eggs and toast, brought it out, set it in front of him. I didn't order this. I know, cook made a mistake, can't let it go to waste. The kid looked at her, really looked. That's not true. Does it matter? He stared at the plate, at the food, at this woman who was lying to protect his dignity. Why are you doing this? Because you're hungry, and I have food, that's reason enough. You don't even know me. I know enough. I know you're trying. I know you're working hard. I know you need help. That's all I need to know. The kid's eyes filled with tears. He blinked them back, hard. Thank you. You're welcome. What's your name? Marcus. I'm Martha. You need anything else, Marcus? You just ask. Okay. He nodded. Couldn't speak. Just nodded. Marcus came back the next day, and the next, every morning before school. Martha fed him, never made a big deal of it. Just cook made too much again, and a plate of food. They started talking, small talk at first, then bigger talk. About his mom working 2 jobs, about his dad being gone, about trying to keep his grades up while being so hungry he couldn't concentrate. You're doing great, Martha told him. Better than great. You're surviving. That's hard work. Don't let anyone tell you different. One morning in February, Marcus came in with a report card. All A's and B's. Look, he said, showing Martha, pride in his voice. I did it. You did. I'm so proud of you. I couldn't have done it without you. Without this. Without knowing I'd have food. It made everything easier. Martha's heart squeezed. Marcus, listen to me. You did this. Your hard work. Your dedication. I just gave you eggs. You did everything else. You gave me more than eggs. You gave me hope. You made me feel like I mattered. You do matter. Don't ever forget that. Marcus graduated in June, top 10% of his class, full scholarship to State University. He came to the diner one last time before leaving. I'm going to pay it forward, he told Martha. Everything you did for me, I'm going to do it for someone else someday. I'm going to remember that kindness saved me, and I'm going to save someone else. Then my job is done, Martha said. Go change the world, Marcus, and come back to visit sometimes. I will, I promise. He hugged her. Left. Martha watched him go. Another life touched. Another seed planted. Another generation learning that kindness mattered. The summer was busy. Tourists. Locals. The diner hummed with life. Martha worked her shifts, trained new people, kept doing what she'd always done. In August, Claire called her into the office again. Martha, I need to tell you something. Corporate wants to do a feature on you for the company website, a video about your story, about what happened last year and what you've built since then. They want to use you as an example of their values. Their values? Martha laughed. The same values that had me fired. They know they made a mistake, a huge one. They want to make it right. They want other employees to see what real hospitality looks like. Will you do it? Martha thought about it, about Brian, about that morning in the storage room, about being called outdated. I'll do it, she said, but on one condition. I want the video to be about more than me. I want it to be about everyone who does this work. Every server, every cook, every person in hospitality who treats people with dignity. Because I'm not special. I'm just one of thousands who do this every day. Let's honor all of them. Honor all. Done, Claire said. Absolutely done. The video was filmed in September, 1 year after the firing. They interviewed Martha, the Iron Hawks, Lisa, who'd moved back home and was rebuilding her life, Marcus, now in college, David Wilson, the social worker, all the people Martha had touched, all the lives she'd changed. The video went live in October. 2 million views in the first week, 10 million by the end of the month. Companies across the country started changing their policies, training their managers, emphasizing relationship over efficiency. Martha became a symbol, not of perfection, but of basic human decency, of showing up, of caring when it was easier not to, of proving that kindness wasn't outdated, it was essential. But Martha didn't feel like a symbol. She felt like herself. 72 years old now, slower than she used to be, arthritis worse in the mornings, but still showing up, still pouring coffee, still making extra eggs. One Sunday morning, the Iron Hawks rode in as usual. Hank sat at booth 7. Martha brought him coffee. You know what I realized, Hank said. What's that? You've been saving lives for 43 years, and you'll probably keep saving them until the day you die, because that's who you are. That's your legacy. My legacy is eggs and coffee, Hank. No, he said firmly. Your legacy is teaching the rest of us how to be human, how to see people, how to love strangers, how to make the world a little less cruel and a little more kind. That's your legacy, and it's going to outlive all of us. Martha sat down across from him. You really believe that? I know it. I see it every day, in the way Tommy treats customers, in the way young servers here learn from you, in Marcus going to college, in Lisa going home to her mother, in me still alive when I should have been dead 43 years ago. Your kindness ripples, Martha. It spreads, it multiplies, and it never ends. Martha felt tears coming. I just wanted to help people. You did. You do. You will. That's the gift. They sat in comfortable silence, coffee cooling between them. Two old souls who'd saved each other without meaning to, who'd built a family out of strangers and breakfast and showing up. The diner filled around them, people coming in, sitting down, being seen, being fed, being reminded that they mattered, that they were worthy of care, of attention, of love. And Martha looked around at this place she'd given 43 years to, this place that had tried to throw her away, this place she'd reclaimed on her terms. And she thought about all the lives that had passed through these doors, all the moments of connection, all the small acts that added up to something bigger than herself. She thought about the teenage boy who'd walked in hungry and was now in college, about the young woman who'd called her mother, about the man who'd put away his gun and built a community instead, about her granddaughter learning to see people, about all the servers she'd trained who were now training others. The legacy wasn't hers alone. It belonged to everyone who'd chosen kindness, who'd chosen to see, who'd chosen to help. It was a legacy built one breakfast at a time, one cup of coffee at a time, one moment of human connection at a time. And it was far from over. Martha stood up, refilled Hank's coffee, moved to the next table, the next customer, the next opportunity to show that someone cared. Because that's what she did. That's who she was. Not a hero, not a symbol, just Martha. 72 years old. Waitress. Life changer. Proof that one person doing small things with great love could change the world. One plate at a time, one smile at a time, one act of kindness at a time. And in a world that kept getting harder, colder, more disconnected, Martha Jensen kept showing up, kept caring, kept proving that humanity was worth fighting for. Not because it was easy, but because it was right. Not because it was profitable, but because it was necessary. Not because she was special, but because everyone is. That was her legacy. That was her truth. That was her gift to a world that desperately needed reminding. Kindness isn't outdated. It's eternal. It's revolutionary. It's the only thing that saves us from ourselves. And as long as Martha Jensen was breathing, as long as she could pour coffee and make eggs and see people really see them, she would keep proving it. One breakfast at a time, one life at a time, one moment of grace at a time. Because in the end, that's all any of us can do. Show up, care. Remember that we're all just trying to survive this beautiful, brutal life. And sometimes the only thing standing between survival and surrender is one person who refuses to look away. Martha was that person. Had been for 43 years, would be for however many years she had left. And the world was better for it. One saved life at a time. One act of love at a time. One undeniable proof that goodness still existed in the hardest places. That was Martha's story. That was her victory. That was her forever. And nothing, no corporate policy, no efficiency metric, no cruel manager could ever take that away. Because kindness, once planted, grows forever.